Savvy Lee. I'm your host, Coach Penn, along with the world's greatest co-host, Professor Haas. Today's guest brings a perspective that many of us share and cherish the remainder of our lives, high school football. Today's show, we cover the perspective of an elite baller and his rise through the ranks. Please allow me to introduce one of the nation's top pass catchers, LaMarcus.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah. I'm doing good, just chilling.
Definitely, man. Hey, it's such a pleasure to have you, man. I followed your high school career and watched how you excelled and progressed and, worked hard. You had a lot of your workouts, recorded, and I would look at them and just the work ethic and the effort that you would put into each rep, man. I saw it, but it translated on the field. You know what I'm saying? So all the success that you have received, on this level of our game, you worked for it and you earned it. So shout out
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
So let's go all the way back, all the way back. Pop Warner, Pal League, how were you introduced to football? And do you remember your experience, your very first season?
Yeah. So my mom actually told me about it. I just came home one day. I was second grade, and she just asked me if I wanted to try football out. And I was just like, yeah, because I was always like, trying new sports and stuff. So I tried it out. And the first year, I actually did not like it at all. She'd have to force me to go to practice all the time. And it was just like, I'm young. I want to go to the pool, hang out with my friends. I'm not trying to, go to practice, put on pads, and hit cheap people during that time. So, but I mean, I'm happy I did it. I ended up liking it towards the end of the year. So.
Oh, really? So,
yeah.
Do you remember anything from it? Like what trepidation? What has you nervous or anxious or even scared at the beginning?
I think what I was scared about, I was kind of smaller, and I was actually playing lineman. So I was on the line, so I used to just be like kind of scared about getting like crushed or something going to practice.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, that was a good
we all started off. A lot of our skilled position players started out on that line when we played, in Little League. So I understand. I was a safety and a guard. Hey, that's the Detroit Power League, though.
Yeah, never played safety or guard. I played safety, but never played on the line. I was either running back, receiver, corner, or safety.
Yeah, man. Hey, that's how I was, man. Cody High School, Detroit Stars Power program. You know what I'm saying? That's what we have to do, baby. So I definitely understand. So, all right, let's go to your high school rankings. When you got into high school, and let's say you dominated through freshman and junior varsity, and then you were introduced to the varsity level. What grade would you introduce to varsity?
It was at the end of my 9th grade year. I got pulled up at the end of our season because we had like 7 games. Mm-hmm. So out of those 7 games, we ended up getting pulled up for the rest of the varsity season.
Oh boy, what was the biggest adjustment?
I definitely want to say just like the speed and the contact. For like the speed, both mentally and physically, like, you got to keep up with everyone physically. And then mentally, it's just so much going on. It's a lot quicker. It's like you got to see different stuff more like faster. And it's a lot. And then obviously the contact, people are really hitting when you get up there.
Yeah.
So those are the biggest adjustments for real.
Right. So how did you have to prepare yourself mentally? Like, because the thing is that, when we're talking about sports and we're talking about the things that I've always been of the school that sports is 90% mental, 10% physical. Mm-hmm. And so mentally, how did you prepare yourself to excel and do well in that particular situation?
Honestly, one, it was taking it more serious. I mean, I was really playing just off, skill at that point when I was younger. And then I just had to, really like start studying the game more, taking practice and things like that more seriously. And that just really helped me with that part of it.
I think you said something right there, Coach.
Go ahead. What you say?
Taking practice seriously. I mean, and here's the thing, right? Is that you practice so that you can play a certain way. Mm-hmm. And some folks think that they don't take it serious until they get to the game and they're wondering why they're getting beat, or they're wondering why, you know, how they played it off in their head isn't working because they didn't take practice seriously.
Hey, now, NFL radio, I heard Deion Sanders' interview where he stated that he wants to see practice tape. He don't care about the game. He wants to see how a player practices, and that's how he gives scholarships. You know, so that's spreading like a wildfire right now, especially in the collegiate level. You know, so for you to have that moxie and that will to practice, first of all, something that you love, it's not really practice. You get what I'm saying? Or work. That's the thing about it. You know what I'm saying? It's constantly just doing what you love. Some people love to hoop. Some people love to play 21. You get what I'm saying? 2-on-2. As a receiver, as a football player, that's what you love to do. Play football. You get what I'm saying? So any day you get to play football is a blessing. So of course you're going to practice hard. You get what I'm saying? Because you don't want to drop a pass in practice. You don't want to drop a pass playing, you know, in the middle of the street. You don't want to drop a pass. Definitely not in the game. You know what I'm saying? So it all translates. So I definitely understand.
Yeah, that's something I heard with Chris Carter and Antonio Brown. They always talked about in practice, nothing hits the ground.
Nothing ever.
Nothing.
Not even if my sister used to throw me a bottle of water. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'll try to catch it like this just to make it a little bit more difficult. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. But when did you see that speed that you recognize, you know, was upper level, upper echelon, slow down for you, and you became the burner, and the game slowed down for you there?
I want to say going probably like my sophomore, like towards the end of the year and going into my junior summer, it was when I really started seeing it because, you know, I got the experience a little bit. I really got to like get a work ethic and a flow for it. So I want to say then is when I really started to like feel it click for me. You know, things are starting to come together real good.
Yeah, definitely. That's how it usually is between, you know, that sophomore and junior year. You know, you begin to see the efforts, you know, all the way from PAL and all the way that all the work that you put in up until that point begin to separate you there. You know, Yep. So, when did you realize that you really had the ability to dominate a football game on a high school level?
I want to say I realized it my junior year and probably like the second game. Because at first when I was a sophomore, I'm not gonna lie, I was taking some hits because I was, you know, I was just smaller. But once I got hit that junior year and I realized I was the one doing the hitting or I was the one running past people was when I really realized like, oh, I'm dominating. And it's like 50-50 balls were becoming like more like my balls and things like that. So that's when I really realized I started dominating the game.
Yeah, it's a beautiful feeling, man.
And I kind of want to go back to mindset, right? 50-50 balls, right? If you know, if you can win 50-50 balls, like, I mean, that'll take you a long way, no matter what level you're at. So, but the thing is that it's just like, you know, like, I mean, in any sport, right? You have to look at it at a certain way. What's the mental preparation that you do to make sure that, you know, you're always on, like what do you have to do and say to yourself? I'll give you an example. For me, I ran track, and I remember it was my senior year, and we were running a relay. And I remember, like, it was almost like everything slowed down, and I started looking around, and I was like, these guys are too close to me. And at that second, I took off. So, like, mentally, what changes in the instant, right? When that 50-50 ball is coming, what are you thinking?
I'm literally just thinking like it's mine. Like if it's in the air, then it's mine. Like it's my ball. And just like sometimes I'll just like leave reality and I'll just realize like all the work I put in or something like that, like to catch that ball right there. So like I'm not gonna let somebody that hasn't been working as hard as me, you know, make a play when I've been working harder and I know that, and I'm gonna catch the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Let me tell you about that 50-50 ball scenario. The actual 50-50 pass catch, you know what I'm saying, is the icing on the cake. It's what you do before that.
That's
you
right.
know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Running that route at the proper distance, you know what I'm saying, dropping your hips, you know, blocking out, and going up and snatching the ball essentially.
Right. Well, and he said it, right? He said he said it that I put too much work in not to get this ball.
That's right.
That I'm not finna let somebody who didn't put the work in that I put in.
Yep, that's right.
Get this ball over me. And that's the way I felt when I was on the track. I'm just like, nah, man, I know me.
Yeah, for sure.
These dudes is too close. It's time to go.
Now, the thing about that, everything before the 50-50 ball is involuntary because you've done it so much. You get what I'm saying? That's right. So the only thing that is a challenge or is contested is the actual ball. You know what I'm saying? But if you do everything, put in the work, do everything you got to do to get your, to be in position. You get what I'm saying? You'll always come up with that. You always be and that drop step is crazy too when you're going to get that 50-50 ball. So I understand. There's a lot to it. So, all right. So can you describe the feeling of when you started your first game on varsity and also the feeling of scoring your very first touchdown?
So my first varsity start was my junior year, and I wasn't really that nervous because I played a little bit my sophomore year. So, I really got the jitters out then. But I was just, just really excited just to be on the field and, just hear the crowd and the band like in the beginning of the game. Mm-hmm. It's just a different like excitement and the crowd just going crazy for that first play. Yeah. And then for the touchdown, it felt great because it was on one of my favorite moves, the hitch and go. Okay. It's probably my favorite route, and I ran that.
The double moves, bro. They freeze them DBs.
I'm saying, hey, the dude touched the ground and everything, bro. I probably see some on film. The dude, he touched the ground. You said what?
I said you took his ankles.
Oh yeah. And I caught an open touchdown. It was just a great feeling. I was just like, I really knew like I was just there. If that makes sense, like just in the moment.
It opened the floodgates.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you can't tell them nothing walking through the hallways.
I swear that week I feel like the man, bro.
I know you do. I know you did. I know the exact feeling. I understand. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing like it. It's nothing like it at all. So exactly. Enjoy it. You got many more. You got many more pay dirts to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, remember every single one of them too.
Yeah, and that feeling when you said you felt like the man, because correct me if I'm wrong, everything got a little easier at that point, right? And
yeah.
As an athlete, I call that the it factor, right? There is a point when preparation meets the opportunity, and what it does is it catapults you into greatness. And I call it the it factor. And I remember when I had it, that was when I was able to just turn it on in my head, literally say to myself, these guys are too close to me. And then all of a sudden my body's just like, yeah, and just kicks in. That it factor, once you get it, but you got to ride it. You got to ride it. Because if it goes away.
It's like being in the matrix, being in the zone. You know what I'm saying? But it takes a certain amount of practice, certain amount of effort, certain amount of blood that you put into that game for you to be able to reach that level of the glow.
Oh yeah,
you know
preparation and opportunity. Absolutely.
Definitely, man. So you can't get around work. That's one thing about it. You gotta love this, man. You should always get better. But one advantage that you have, and that is gonna make your generation of receivers and pretty much athletes better than the last, is the advent of YouTube and film at your disposal.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about watching film, and how often do you watch film of, say, an elite receiver? How Devontae Adams gets off the press. You get what I'm saying? How Amari Cooper may drop his hips in a one cut and then go to the sideline, different things, different scenarios. Now, back in my day, just to add to that, we used to see Randy Moss catch verticals by sprinting the first segment, looking back, tracking the ball, turning around, running to the spot, and then catching it again. You know what I'm saying? So how often do you watch tape, in order to get your game better, because it's there at your disposal. So I'm sure you do it all the time.
Yeah, I do it. Like you said, I do it all the time. Sometimes I really just watch it just for fun because I just love watching it.
That's
And
right.
like, and then things like not even just YouTube. Like now we have Instagram too, where it's accounts just for things like that.
Yeah.
So like I'll see a release move and I'll save it. I'll just study it all the time. So like I'll at least try to study like one move a day
Yep.
and just see what I can do. So next time I go to the field, I can work on multiple moves at once.
Hey, the thing about working these different moves and things that you see, your brain and your feet have to be in sync. That's the biggest thing. You have to visualize it first. You know what I'm saying? That's the hardest thing. And then once you can visualize it, everything will fall into place. It's rhythmic.
Oh, absolutely. And I also think that, like that, when you talk about film study, right, that works in every sport. And see what people, like I said, I was a track guy. They don't realize how important film study is in track. Understanding where you won the race, where you lost the race, where you need to, what you need to work on, regardless of whether you won or lost. And the thing is that in all sports, film is good. Like just like when you're looking at, when you see a receiver that you like, study his moves. I had to wait till they actually showed up on TV. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have a VHS. You don't know nothing about
the game. Take the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So it's the thing is that you guys have all this stuff at your disposal, and one of the things that you have to do, not only do you need to watch what the pros do as far as before Sunday, you need to watch film tape of even your opponent, because we're all creatures of habit.
Yep.
Right. We're creatures of habit. That's what made Ray Lewis who he was, because Ray Lewis wasn't a phenomenal athlete, but it was the film study that made him who he was. Peyton Manning, phenomenal athlete, but it was the film study that made Peyton Manning what he was. And all of these quarterbacks.
I'm sorry. And also the offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators have a pattern and a sequence.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? So as a player, you have to watch for that sequence also. So once you break that, if they're in cover 2, cover 3 man, or what I'm saying? What's coming next.
And Rod Woodson said it right when he talked about once he learned that there's 5 sets that you can get in.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, now you can start calling those sets out, and now you know how to react. There's so many things that come with the film study. You have to continue to be a student. Just because you're on the field doesn't mean that you stop being a student.
Never, ever. I'm still a student. I'm a head coach.
Right.
Yeah, so.
I'm just a spectator, still a student.
Yeah, so let's talk about the feeling of being recognized, recognition. Because when you play at that level that you do, someone is watching. So how did it feel when you got your first official offer?
Man, it felt great. I remember like exactly where I was standing and everything. It was just real exciting, but it was like I also had like a weird feeling that I didn't expect to get. It was like I just wanted to work harder after I got that offer. Some people get kind of complacent sometimes, and I thought I might have felt that, but I just felt like I wanted to work harder because I know I could go play at that next level. Yeah. So I knew I wanted to dominate at that next level and not drop off or anything. So I just knew I had to work harder after that first offer.
We don't drop balls.
Yeah,
we don't drop balls.
See, man, it's the kryptonite to all greatness.
Exactly.
Let me give you a little advice. What I recognize about receivers, especially the elite ones. If you see receivers drop balls, it's usually in succession. Back to back, something like that, or just a terrible game. Mm-hmm. Us as receivers, I think we are the only position in football where what's going on outside and off the field affects what's going on in there, inside the field when it comes to catching that ball. I just want you to know, just my advice, don't let that happen. Once you enter the white lines, stay focused on that game and leave anything that's happening on the outside of that. You get what I'm saying? Because if you let that come in, then you'll see an Odell Beckham break down, and Antonio Brown break down. These different things, just because what's going on outside of football is implementing their game. You get what I'm saying? And you can see it. That's the reason. And they're not just mental. No, it's something going on that's taking them away from, from the primary goal here is to play the game and be the best you can be. So, yeah, that's my advice to you on that. So, All right.
You got to keep the main priority. And you
Yes. Yeah. And during the season, lock everything out. You know what I'm saying? It's just about ball, college. I mean, school. You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely. And ball. That's it. Your life will be simpler. All right. So, what criteria do you require from the university that you choose?
So, obviously the first two, education and just the football program. So those two are always going to matter no matter who you are.
Yeah.
But something that's important to me is like just how I fit in at the school, the community, and the program. So I want to make sure, I'm a good fit. I don't want to go into somewhere where I feel like either I'd be a toxic fit or I just don't think I'd really be able to function well, like in that area, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And just like how the coach is with me, like I'd rather have a coach that's open and honest with me that somebody's gonna, put a cherry on top of everything. I don't want to hear what I want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear honest. We have to say like honestly.
Hey, once you get to a certain point, you always want to hear what you want to hear. That's so.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta be a baller though. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
facts. Facts.
Be like, hey, Mr. Brown, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, but all right. So you'll be entering your collegiate freshman season. What do you expect to accomplish your very first season of college?
Well, I definitely expect to go there and take one of the starting positions as a starting receiver.
Right.
And I definitely want to put up 70 plus receptions and 700 plus receiving yards for my first year.
That's right. What is that? 10 yards per catch?
Yeah, 10 yards per reception.
That's right.
And so one of the things that, when I hear you say that and I look at your prowess, right? The accolades that you've received. And we've interviewed quite a few professionals, right? Like we've interviewed professionals who actually made it to the league and they didn't start until, didn't start but half their senior year.
That's right.
They only started their senior year. They didn't start ever.
Yep.
And so one of the things about it is, what we tell people and what I've always told, especially high school athletes is that, listen, man, when you get to the upper echelons, like there are a lot of cold-blooded college football players that never make it to the pros.
That's right.
And so there is a point where it's not all about talent. And so if any advice that I can give to you, it's the fact that, regardless to what's going on, regardless to you get there and the coach doesn't like you. Like to me, the coach, maybe not the coach doesn't like you, or they like somebody else. That shouldn't determine, or that shouldn't deter you from your goal, right? The thing is that you're there for a mission. And one of the things, and this was, Reggie Walker said this, and this made so much sense. Mm-hmm. He said that and he was the one that didn't start, but I think was it half his senior year? Half his senior year. And he still made it. And he played in the pro for 9 years.
That's right.
And so what he said is that one of the things he made sure didn't happen is that there were 2 or 3 coaches that always had his back. And how do you do that? The thing is that you show them that you're dedicated and you're willing to do whatever it takes. And then you get those coaches on your side, because the thing is, as a player like you want to come in with 70 plus receptions. Well, the thing is I pray that happens. The thing is what if they don't, and you feel like they've held you back? But you have to keep that mindset right. Because remember, 70 plus catches is not your ultimate goal. You're trying to get to the league.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind, because the thing is the scouts, they talk to the coaches way before they talk to you.
Yeah. Right. It's going to be times, like I say, when, your confidence is shook. Exactly what he was saying. Where you may be at the bottom of the depth chart and not moving. You know what I'm saying? That no quit aspect that you have always had, that you have always pushed through and always rose above, is going to really come. It's going to really come to effect on this next level. You're going in 17, 18, but you're dealing, it's other 22-year-old men, so you're going to have to take their spot and take their dream if you want to come in and have 70 catches at 700 yards. You got to prepare for that mentally. You know what I'm saying?
And doing all that will make you this right here. You'll be the player that the coach warned them about. Because you'll be getting on the field. You, like I said, man, it's all about it's mental.
Yep.
Football, basketball, track, baseball, soccer, all of it's mental. If you can get the mental part, truthfully, you can learn the skill.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get it up here. That's the part. That's why you people have, they're like, oh, he's off tonight. He's off up here.
Exactly. That's what it is. Yep. And one more thing, you have to understand what you're going through and your experiences as you grow as a football player. It's really growing you into the man that you would become and the character that you would show in life after football. You get what I'm saying? This translates everywhere. The work ethic, the will to win, the ability to not quit. It's going to take you far. You know what I'm saying? So keep grinding. Now, what advice would you give to the next LaMarcus Brand coming up? Let's say junior, let's say 10th grade.
10th grade. I would just say, honestly, just keep working hard. I just think that's the main thing. Even if you're not being recognized for it, or you don't have this, or you might have that, but I just say, just keep working hard. It's going to be brought into the light eventually. Like you just said, working hard is going to turn you into somebody later in life. Yep. So even if it doesn't work out for football or whatever sport you play, you working hard is going to make you successful later on in life. So I just, like I said, just keep working hard.
Hey, one more thing about this game, besides a few other things in life that, you're nowhere near, this is the only game, pretty much the only thing that revolves around your life that you get back what you put in. Self-accountability. Get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So remember that too. You're not getting the results, you're not working hard enough. You feel me? So I want to thank you, man. This has been an awesome interview.
Absolutely.
Awesome interview, man. You're going on to another part of your life, where you will achieve great things, and we just want you to know that ASAP Elite is behind you the whole way. You know what I'm saying? We believe in you. Go down there. Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, sir. See, shows like this are very important.
Absolutely.
Because the grassroots level, has so many, impressionable minds that, if you continue to speak positivity in them, hard work, they can really excel, man. They're not the next receivers, not the next, outside linebackers in the NFL. They could be the next great architect, the next great Myron Rolle. You know what I'm saying?
The next great CEO, right? Because it's a team game.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And we've heard guests after guest after guest talk about how that team concept has helped them in their business, start their business. Right. These are business owners.
Mm-hmm. And the weathering it. You get what I'm saying? Let's say, Marcus Ogden, what he went through, what he learned, and how he's able to bounce back.
Right.
That's from, in his book, he referred to, him being in training camp with the Jaguars, and handling it a certain way and not getting the results. But when he went to the next team, he learned from it and was able to excel from those mistakes. This is just life in general.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Taking your lumps and getting back up and keep pushing yourself.
Resiliency, man. Because the thing is here's the thing. Here's one thing I can guarantee everybody: you're gonna get knocked down. Definitely. I don't care what you decide, whether you play football, whether you don't play football, no matter what you're going to, it's how you it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up.
Yep. And once you do, and you figure that out, then you will gain achievement, success, and perseverance.
That's right.
Thank you, everyone. See you later.